Hello, everyone. So this is, I'm going to explain this in the email too, but the plan is we are going to, um, what we were going to do today in class, we're going to do on Friday. There's, not this coming week, but next week, there's some stuff we'll be able to combine and we'll get back on track. And that way, um, you're not losing really a lot of important information that we would be covering in class and learning about it online. So what this video is, this is the stuff I was going to cover on Friday, but we had I'm sorry, I know everything's a mess right now, but we had the former FYS students in. And this is really some basic groundwork stuff that's probably going to be repetitive in review for some of you, but then it might be entirely new for some of you. So this is really sort of the first basic stuff that we need to cover, and then this coming Friday we will move forward with some more interesting stuff. We'll be discussing the Millhauser story on Friday, and stuff that I'm going to be lecturing about briefly is going to focus on the reading from the Burway book on image. Okay, so we're going to do that today. We're going to be doing that Friday. If you need to review that before Friday, please do. Okay. So these videos, this is going to be the first one that you guys are seeing. They have to be cut off at 15 minutes. So I'm hoping I'll get through everything I need to in 15 minutes, but if not, there may be a shorter second video. Okay. So this is focusing on the expectations of college level writing and just some basic issues. Now, we're not going to focus so much on the basic writing issues. I used to do this before I created that style guide. That style guide essentially covers these basic writing issues. So what I'm going to be talking about here is more so the expectations for college level writing and the foundation for college level writing. However, though, if you have questions about basic writing issues, I'm going to hit a few things in here, and then whatever's on the style guide. If you have questions about that, we can cover that in class. All right. We're not doing that. Not doing that. All right. So, I know it was last week, but I wanted you to read the section on. Had you read. It was clarity, punctuation, and grammar in the Pocket Style Manual. This is a lot of basic stuff, but clarity is something that we are going to be focusing on a lot in this class, and it's something that most English 100 professors will focus on a lot. In clarity, essentially, this is what I'm giving you feedback on in your introductory letters. So this covers tightening wordy sentences, active and passive voice, needless shifts in point of view or tense. I see this very common in first year writing, and this is kind of one of those things that a lot of student writers aren't aware that they do, but when it's pointed out to them and when you know to look for it, you can find it. Sentence variation, we're not going to go over this right now because we're going to do, I have a whole video lecture just on sentence variation, which we're going to be talking about on Friday. So I'm going to skip over that. Paragraph variation, this is just as important as sentence variation. And this is something that we're going to be talking about a little bit more on Friday. Cliches. This is just more of a tip for me. I hate cliches and overused phrasing. So, and most professors do. Always strive for originality and creativity. So this is something else that you're going to see me commenting on in your writing. Alright, so the big things when it comes to college level writing is, and in the way that I teach writing in college, is I always, and I will beat this into your heads over the course of the semester, and if you take any future classes with me, audience, author, purpose. Well, I think somebody's at my door. Okay, I'm back. Excuse me. So, audience, author, and purpose. These are based, we're not going to get into all of Aristotle's rhetoric, but these are the foundations of contemporary rhetoric. These are always present in all forms of writing. And it's something that I will constantly be asking you to reflect on, to think about, to hone your writing towards author, audience, and purpose. So, who's your audience? You always must write to fit your audience. I always use this example because it's silly and it's extreme, but I would not write some kind of essay about atheism and try to publish it in a Christian magazine. That's not the audience for it. So you always need to be aware of your audience. Your audience for the time being, is this FYS class and myself. Audiences can change, though. You may take something that you've written in this class and rework it, maybe submit it to our campus literary magazine, maybe try to submit it to the Italian. So your audience can change, but you always need to keep your audience in mind. And this gives you insight into the choices that you must make regarding strategies and style. For example, think of the language used in young adult novels versus classic literary masterpieces. The language and style is much different, and that's because of the audience. But also conventions of the time. Stephen King says that you should, he takes this idea a little bit further and says that you should imagine an ideal reader. His ideal reader is his wife, Tabitha, and when he's writing, he's always asking himself, would Tabby find this scary? Would she find this funny? Would this make sense to her? This may be helpful to you. I don't necessarily personally have an ideal reader when I write, but I do always focus on the audience that I'm writing for. Author, your personal experiences are both a gift and a curse. We all have experiences that shape us, that can provide a wealth of inspiration, enhance our style, our voice, all of those things. But we also have biases that maybe we are aware of or that we're not aware of. And this is something that you constantly need to be thinking about when you're writing, is how you're using your personal experience to your advantage, but also how those personal experiences, maybe subconscious biases, whatever, can hinder the message. Purpose. The audience has a purpose, but I don't want to focus on that so much right now. The author always has a purpose. You always have something you want to achieve. Vladimir Nabokov says that a writer must be an entertainer, must be a teacher, and these are the terms he uses. I can't remember exactly what his terms are. And also must be a persuader. So everything you write is arguably going to meet at least one of those goals. I would argue that everything you write should be entertaining. Everything you write should teach the reader something. And you should be trying to persuade the reader in everything you write, regardless if that is just persuading them to feel sad at the end, or persuading them to believe something, to understand something, persuading their point of view, persuading their emotions, whatever. So you always need to keep audience, author, and purpose in mind. Here, I started hitting on this. The author's purpose is at least one of these: informative, persuasive, entertaining, or all three of these, two of these, whatever. Again, we're going to come back to audience purpose. Setting is the time and place that something's written. It's different than the setting of a story, time and place when something's set, or time and place something takes place. So if you think of stories like Romeo and Juliet, that wouldn't be written today. It's still a great piece of art, but it wouldn't be written today because war and families aren't really an issue, and it's not something people are going to write about. The Great Gatsby wouldn't be written today because it hinges on the culture of the time and on bootlegging. Neither really apply today. Same with Fight Club. Fight Club was written during a very specific period during the 1990s when sort of nihilistic beliefs, the pointlessness of it all, of existence, was at the forefront of the cultural consciousness. So it made sense then. Probably not going to be, wouldn't make so much sense now if it was written. Again, that doesn't make these any less impactful stories, but generally speaking, they would not be written today. All right, so knowing your purpose. We talked about this. What do you want to achieve? What points or arguments do you want to make? What is your motivation for writing? And your motivation should be more than you have to, because it's an assignment. You should try to personalize all of your assignments in some way. This is why I always ask my students to write what they care about, what they know, what's important to them, because then you have more of that intrinsic motivation for writing. Knowing your audience. What do you want to manipulate them to believe? Writing is manipulation. You are always manipulating your reader to believe, feel, or think something. or you want them to learn something. Always, everything. Even my to-do list that I have right here is manipulation. There's an author. I'm the author. It has a purpose. I need to get these things done. By making this list and putting it on my desk, I'm manipulating the reader, who's also myself, into using it as a tool and checking things off. It has an author, audience, and purpose. Setting a context. This goes, is something that I don't want to necessarily get into right now, but it's something that we're going to kind of filter through the rest of the semester. And knowing your background, write what you know, write what you care about. You are the authority of the text. The word author is the root of the word authority. An author is always the authority of what they're writing about, or at least appears to be. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. So college level writing. I have to move this. So there's 4 modes of discourse in college level writing: exposition, description, narration, argumentation. Explaining something, describing something, narrating an arc. I don't want to use the word story, but narrating the beginning, middle, and end of an experience, and then arguing points using logic. College level essay is a short piece of writing requiring, this is the actual definition, requiring the student to hone his or her skills of close reading, analysis, comparison, and contrast, persuasion, conciseness, clarity, and exposition. We're going to do all of this. This is what college level writing entails. And this is, I enjoy this. I like this explanation better. Students must develop their own ideas and concepts with no direction other than their own thoughts. This is important. You're not jumbling together a paper based off of the research that you found. You have your own thoughts, and you're using research to substantiate your argument, to prove your point, whatever. You are describing an experience using your own thoughts and concepts. Okay, so here's some more definitions of the 4 modes of discourse. We covered most of this, though. To explore an idea, evaluate evidence, and set forth an argument. Exploring, exposition, descriptive, to describe a person, place, experience, object, notion, or situation. Narrative, these are often anecdotal, experiential, and personal. And then argumentative requires the student to investigate a topic, collect, generate, and evaluate evidence, and establish a position on the topic from which the student must argue. Okay, we won't be doing all of these in English 100. In FYS. You should be doing all of these in English 100. You will in mine, at least, if you end up taking mine. We're not going to do that. Alright, that's actually really good. We have like 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to show you this quick thing on BuzzFeed. I love BuzzFeed. This quick thing on BuzzFeed, why writing is important. So why we need to be more, this is why we need to be more careful with grammar in 2014. And it's all really silly stuff. You can look at it more. It's taking forever to load. So, okay. That's hilarious. So you can look at these things, but you will be, the point is you will be judged on your writing. Your professors will judge you. Others will judge you. Prospective employers will judge you. All of that. So if you need a reminder for next class, make sure you read again or review these 2 pieces, and we'll be discussing those in class. And that's it.